Rafael Stone did it once again. Well, not a day has passed. It's daytime. So the night is over, and we all have had some time to kind of decompress and evaluate our first round draft picks last night if you're a part of Rocket Nation. And they got an A+. They got an A+ 100%. I think there were also teams that got A+, like the Detroit Pistons. So, maybe the Rockets aren't the pure soul winners right out of the get-go because, none of these guys have played in the league. You can't really figure that one out quite yet because there were some teams, Spurs did well, the Thunder did well, the Pistons did well, and the Rockets did well. All to me, they all got A's at the very worst. So last night, if you didn't watch or if you didn't hear, we got Jabari Smith Jr. at number 3, which was an absolute steal. At 17, we got Tari Eason, and then at 29, we got Ty Washington. So 3 absolute G's. 3 absolute G's. This Rockets roster is just literally now filled with straight dope-ass dudes. Jabari is... And this I'll probably do like a deep 15-minute player preview on all of these cats, but this is a little bit more bigger picture. First off, real quick, Jabari, Jalen, Tari, is Tari in that? No, I think it's just Jalen. Whatever the case may be, the Rockets core 4 are only 20 years old. Jabari, Alperen, Jalen Green, and Kevin Porter Jr., their average age is 20 years old. So not only is our average age with those kind of core future 4 guys super young, but at the same time, we have every single Brooklyn Net first-round pick until, 2027? It might even be 2000. I think it's 2028, actually. So the Rockets are completely set. We are literally just completely set. Jabari Smith was, to me, the best player in the draft. He is 6'10", he can shoot, and he can play defense, so I am absolutely ecstatic that we were able to find out a way to get Jabari, although we didn't even find out a way. I genuinely don't really get what the Magic were doing about Paolo Banchero. I feel like, if anything, if I were the Magic, I would openly, you have the first pick. You literally have the first pick, bro. What are you throwing smoke screens out when you have the first goddamn pick? It would make sense if you did it the other way. All right, guys, we plan on drafting Paolo Banchero. All right? What's weird is if Houston had come out and openly expressed all this interest in Jabari, who didn't even work out with us, that's a different story. But like I said, he didn't even work out for us. So if I was the Magic, what I would have done is I would have been after seeing Paolo and Rafael get dinner together and all this stuff, I would have been or if I'm Orlando, I'm we're drafting Paolo. I would have literally just come out openly and said, Paolo is our guy, we're taking him with the number 1 pick. And from that point, if you're Houston, you can kind of assess and be shoot, Paolo is our guy. Let's start looking into some trades here where we can get Paolo. We can get that first pick and we can get the rights to draft Paolo. So I don't really know what the Magic were doing. I think Paolo Banchero fits perfectly on Orlando because he doesn't play defense and neither do the Orlando Magic. Oklahoma City Thunder, they went out and got Chet sitting too. If you were in my live stream yesterday, I was feeling pretty good. I think Rocket fans, like I said, leading up to the draft, we were sitting pretty, just having the 3rd pick in general. Well, I was very interested to see how many guys were not fans of Jabari. It really reminds me a lot of last year, and this is something I really tried to push the agenda on the last month, even 2 months, is that to me, Jabari is the best player in the draft, and just because Paolo is projected to go to us does not mean we're ending up with Paolo. I tried to really hit that home last year with Jalen Green, because if the Rockets didn't draft Jalen Green, we would have had a very similar situation where it's just why? There were people in my live stream just genuinely pissed off that Paolo went number 1, when in all reality, that's money, bro. That is a complete fleecage. We just fleeced the league. Paolo is a good player. I think Paolo is a very talented player. Does he deserve to be a number 1 draft pick? Yeah. He at least deserves to have the opportunity to showcase being the number 1 pick. You saw Jabari. You saw how pissed off he was after not going 1, not going number 2. I think he knows Houston is a lot better than Orlando and Oklahoma. Houston actually hasn't even drafted an all-star since 2002, which is a fun little fact. And Jabari came out and said right out of the get-go, I'm not here to lose. He didn't say those exact words, but I'm here to make the playoffs. I'm trying to make the playoffs. I think the Rockets, if they make some proper moves in free agency, we'll see what they decide to do. And some of these draft picks, especially in this year's class, end up like immediately being able to produce. Like if all three of our rookies can immediately produce and you continue to see nice player development, whether it's on the bench or starters, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., if they continue to get better, I mean, a play-in tournament spot is definitely not out of the equation. So I don't think Houston's necessarily going to tank next year, but obviously they're not going to win. They're probably, I would say 100% not going to be a top 6 seed. So they're in a very good position. You have all these first-round draft picks where even if Houston really exceeds expectations next season and say we finish around 10, well, we have all these assets that we can trade up. So Houston's in a very good, versatile spot, and with a 6'10 shooter in Jabari Smith, he's going to fit well with Sengun. He's going to fit well with Jalen. He's going to fit well with Kevin. He's just going to fit well. Jabari, to me, is the most sound player in the draft. There's no way Jabari Smith is not going to be at least like a 12-point per game scorer in a bad season at any point in his NBA career. Paolo is cool, but I feel like Paolo has been getting all this hype I really don't understand why people aren't as hyped about Jabari. And I'm not talking Rocket fans, I mean in general. Now if you watch anything about the draft, it's who's the most NBA ready? Everyone's saying Paolo. Every single person is saying Paolo, when to me, up until 3 days ago, Jabari was the best player in the draft. He was the number one pick. You could make an argument for Chet. You could make an argument for Paolo. But to me, until 3 days ago, it seemed like everyone was kind of agreeing that Jabari was the number one pick. So I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are as well. Tari Eason gets compared to Kawhi Leonard a lot because his hands are apparently just barely smaller than his, and Kawhi has the most ginormous hands in the world. This man they used to call him Peso because his shot was money. His mom called him Peso because his shot was money. His shooting looks a little inconsistent. His shot form didn't really in the pre-draft, in the draft combines, it didn't really seem like he had the most consistent shot. But Tari Eason's a guy who went to Cincinnati in his freshman year, didn't really play too well, goes to LSU, comes off of the bench, immediately impresses, and that's how the season ended up going. He just kind of turned into a little star for LSU. So he can put he's great with offensive rebounds, he's great with putbacks, he's phenomenal on the defensive end. He provides, just like Jabari, a lot of versatility on defense, specifically defense, also some versatility on offense. But defensively is where I really see a lot of Tari Eason. And then what even makes it better is, defense leads the offense. He's phenomenal in the fast break. Tari Eason's phenomenal in the fast break. Ty is a really intriguing player because I'm shocked he fell all the way to 29. I cannot believe, when we traded our 26th pick to move down 3 spots, I was thinking, all right, we really can't go wrong here. There's still a lot of good players that fell, and that's definitely why Rafael Stone did that trade, is because a lot of these studs were continuing to fall. But Ty still being on the board was very surprising. I was very surprised to see him still on the board. And we were talking about this on the show, my NBA show today. I'll link it in the comment section afterwards. It'll also be in the bio. We were talking about this. This is just kind of how Kentucky guards go. Ty is a big team player. He's a very big team player, but you got to just kind of factor in, in college, especially if you're playing at a school like Kentucky, your coaches kind of just run and they kind of just dictate who's going to be the star. That's literally, you can't, if you're in college, if you're a college coach at the basketball level, Division I, doesn't matter, you essentially pick who your star is going to be. So Ty, really, I think the reason he fell so much in the draft was simply just of the fact that he went to Kentucky. Not the fact that he went to Kentucky, but that's just how that works. That's just how Kentucky basketball works. So, phenomenal draft. I give it an A+. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, go ahead, drop a draft grade down below. Drop it, and I'd love to hear your guys' comments, and I will see you guys later. Peace.